is out, and the batter Gary Carter. One hopper flag by Spike. Carter grounded out and struck out.
You would think it was a base hit, but that's what scouts are for. They position you, and if the pitcher can make you hit that way, you get an easy play from a ball that appeared to be a base hit when it started out.
One away. Ball one. In Hurst's game against the Mets, he went 8 innings, and then Calvin Schiraldi pitched the 9th. So he blanked the Mets for 8 innings in New York, and he has them by the neck for 5 innings tonight. So that's 13 consecutive scoreless innings for Bruce against the Mets.
And Gary Carter really chased a bad ball. He's backed out of the batter's box, way out there, regrouping, because he knows what he did. He was ahead, 1 ball, no strikes, and he just chased a real bad ball. They've been pitching him outside, the outside part of the plate, off-speed pitches, the fastball. They try to keep it way out there.
People in New York remember that Carter finished the year with a team-high 13-game hitting streak. Ground ball wide at third, didn't come up, but Bonds went down to get it and throws him out. That's a fine play, because you're expecting the ball to come up, and he went right down and picked it.
But he's got that glove. Watch that glove. Now, he roams far to his left. That ball, you would think it would bounce up, but look where that glove is, right down there. And I tell you, he works out, and it's nothing new in the World Series, and he goes out there and works out before everybody else. He's been doing that all year long, and he's made himself a pretty good fielder, and he's really shown it in this World Series.
Fine play by Wade Boggs. 2 out in the 6th. Darryl Strawberry grounded out and singled 1 for 2. Fastball on the outside corner. So Hurst still has that control.
He threw the last time 2 fastballs, got 2 quick strikes, and threw a curveball. Let's see what he does.
Fastball, and it's fouled away. The only walk that Hurst has given up tonight thus far, he gave to Rafael Santana, the number 9 hitter. Reminder, local news coming up next on most of these NBC stations.
See what he does with this pitch, Vin. Last time he got burned with the curveball with 2 strikes. Fastball.
Got him. And Bruce Hurst can go back and sit down again and hope it takes a while before he has to pitch.
That's the reaction, if you can read lips.
I can read it. He was saying Chaucer.
Yes.
And Montague said Rabelais. And then Strawberry said Balzac.
I'll tell you. Never mind.
Marty Barrett, 1 ball and no strikes. That's an old line from the Music Man that came to my head. 4-0 Red Sox in the 6th. Hey, they'd appreciate that up here around Harvard.
Now he starts to get a little bit excited. Look at Hernandez come running in to get the youngster out of there. Bill Robinson can't move him, but Hernandez gets him out of there. It's just total frustration.
2-0 to Marty. Walk, grounded out and singled. There's a look at ball 3.
That's why it was so rare to see him hit the first pitch, because he's always working pitchers, and that's what you want the guys like Marty Barrett to do. Make them work.
In there. Marty has had a great series. He's hit in all 5 games. Every time you look up, he's either on base or making a good play with the glove. 3-1. 3-2.
And he's been working the count to 3-2. I haven't been keeping track of it, but it seems like every time he's up there, he's hitting the 3-2 pitch. If you're scouting him, you say, hey, he's not afraid to hit with 2 strikes.
What a great contributor he was to the Red Sox all year. He only missed 3 games. Marty Barrett. High pop fly around the coming in is Keith Hernandez, because the wind is going to almost bring it to him. 1 away. Looking ahead, when the Mets come up in the 7th, they'll have Ray Knight, Kevin Mitchell, and Mookie Wilson. But meanwhile, Buckner and Rice have to hit here in the 6th. Buckner singled in the 1st inning, was aboard on a big error by Rafael Santana, and eventually scored on a single by Dwight Evans. and grounded out in the 4th inning with runners at 1st and 3rd and 2 out. 0-1. Sid Fernandez picking up the pieces for Dwight Gooden, who went 4 innings plus, gave up 4 runs and 9 hits, and Baylor working on that bat. He broke his last bat, remember, on that base hit to right. Drive to left, going back on the ball is Mookie in front of the scoreboard to make the play. 2 down. Once again, friends, we remind you we'll be selecting the NBC Miller Lite Player of the Game at the conclusion of this ball game. Well, here's Rice. Infield single in the 1st inning, walked in the 3rd, a wind-blown triple that was almost a home run into the Sox bullpen in the 5th. Time. Something down in the right field corner. And it's a beach ball. Running for a touchdown with a beach ball.
Joe Brinkman.
Joe Brinkman. Nothing Boston, bottom of the 6th, 2 out. John McNamara still a ways to go. Johnson hoping he can catch up. Big slow curveball for a strike.
That was a beauty.
That took a while to get up there.
Oh, if that wind would have started blowing, I think might have blown it back.
0-2. Fastball got him. So Rice goes down on strikes. Sox are done in the 6th. It's 4-0 Boston. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. Seventh inning, Boston 4 runs, 10 hits. The Mets no runs, 5 hits. They've been mesmerized by Bruce Hurst for the 2nd time. He has a string of 14 consecutive scoreless innings against them, and he set sails in the 7th. Ball 1 to Ray Knight. And Knight flied to right, hit into a double play.
Then with that pitch, 27 of his last 33 pitches have been for strikes.
1-0. Fastball and Knight late, but it's going to be a tough play for Buckner especially, and the ball lands fair. Picked up by Barrett and holding on. Good play by Ray Knight. As soon as Barrett one-handed the hopper, he held on. And Gedman was right there at the bag to draw a throw.
Watch Buckner give it a good effort. He's not going to get it, and Ray Knight thinks he might have a double, but when he sees Marty Barrett come up with the ball, he stops. And as you pointed out, Gedman's down the line, and that's how you get that put out, Vin, at first base. Look at Gedman sneaking behind the runner.
The heads-up play by Getty just in case. But also Bill Robinson, I think, would have almost blocked and tackled Ray Knight if he tried to go on to second. He came right to the bag to make sure he would stop. All right, Kevin Mitchell robbed of a hit by Boggs and single to right in the 5th inning and drills one into the left field corner, hooking foul. Way to go. So back to first goes Knight. You might remember in the 5th inning it was Mitchell who led off with the single to right. Then Wilson singled and Santana sacrificed, and the Mets trailing only 2-0 at the tying runs at 2nd and 3rd. And maybe the biggest pitch of the night, a borderline fastball, and Dykstra swung and missed for strike 3. Tuffle grounded out, and that was that.
They got him.
Got him, and Buckner dropped the ball. They had him dead to rights.
He was walking off the bag, and kind of like a walk in the park, and Hurst just nonchalantly flipped it over there. What a move he puts on. Look at Knight. Now there it is. That's a pretty good move. Knight doesn't expect it at all. Hands on hips, and whoops, looky here.
So it is still 4-0 Boston, and the Mets trying to regroup in the 7th inning. Mitchell followed by Wilson. still has plenty left in the tank here in the 7th inning.
You know, the odd thing about that pickoff, too, Vin, is Buckner's playing behind Knight. He just kind of walked in there like they were visiting.
They were both walking.
Yeah. Never trust another ball player.
Especially Buckner, who's probably telling him a story at the same time. 1-1. 1-2 to Kevin Mitchell. Mutters to himself.
He really placed that in a tremendous spot, right in on the kneecap, low inside. Watch where it is. If he hits it, he beats it right into the ground.
5 strikeouts for Bruce Hurst and the batter Mookie Wilson. He struck out in the 3rd inning, singled to right in the 5th, 1 for 2, and Kevin Mitchell sadder but wiser in the dugout. Fastball and a towering wind-blown fly ball that'll wind up in Evans' territory and in his glove.
Look what he surrounded that ball, that crosswind. You could see he had a little bit of problem with it. It's swirling.
Well, they brought it to him, so with 2 down, the batter will be Rafael Santana, and Bruce Hurst with the ball game firmly in his grasp here in the 7th inning, leading 4-0 and showing no signs of letting up. Santana walked and sacrificed. That's the closest the Mets have been to the game in the 5th inning. 2nd and 3rd trailing 2-0. Now it's 4-0. And that's a wind-blown fly ball. Barrett calling. That's it. So Ray Knight opens up with a single and they leave him. And at the end of 6 1/2, Sox 4, Mets nothing.
Santana had just bunted men over the 2nd and 3rd. Here is the 5th inning. Dykstra against Hurst. Curveball is high. Curveball. It's a strike. Fastball is fouled off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fastball high and in, and he gets him. What a piece of pitching.
And that's the closest the Mets have been tonight. Slow curveball to Baylor for a strike. 0-1. Baylor hit by a pitch in the 1st inning, struck out in the 3rd, and then a broken bat single to right to cash in Jim Rice in the 5th. Slow curve. 1-1. In all 3 of his plate appearances tonight, Baylor has come up with runners in scoring positions, which indeed is an ideal situation for the DH. 1-1. Fastball.
Now we go to New York, and he becomes, as you call him, the designated sitter.
Yep. And the specter of Roger Clemens looms larger and larger as the outs go by here in Fenway. 1-2. Change hit down the line. Out of here.
And that was McNamara's master plan. If there was going to be that big game, he wanted his big guy.
That's right. They second-guessed John in some quarters, saying he should have tried to really get ahead instead of risking being tied. But as usual, very calm and easy. He said, hey, I've got my best 3 well rested, and Baylor strikes out. Meanwhile, Roger Clemens, and that's Al Nipper with the towel around his neck. Clemens and Nipper like to run before games, and one time this year they ran before a game, came in, and 15 minutes before the game they were taking a shower, laughing and scratching. McNamara threw a laundry cart into the shower stall. I mean, once in a while John will get ticked off.
That's that controlled aggression that Gil Hodges, Gil would look at you and he could melt you just by looking at you, because the guy doesn't say a lot. Don't ever take that as a sign of weakness.
Here's Evans, fly to left, singled twice, 2 for 3. Slow curve and a number up along 3rd. They better let it roll, and it goes foul. They didn't have a play otherwise.
The only chance that had, if it would have been hit on that grass, And then grass would grab and hold it in, but you can see it's kind of beveled out. Ball club doesn't have a whole lot of speed. Now, if it had a whole lot of speed, that line could be painted with an extra coat. They could tilt that in a little bit. That would have stayed fair. And there are some groundskeepers who are just experts at that.
Game 6, Roger Clemens and Bobby Ojeda at Shea Stadium in New York. There's Bobby Ojeda now. He pitched a gem here to get the Mets even last night. 0-1 to count to Dwight. And there's a hopper down to Santana. He almost let the ball play him again, but this time he gets Evan. 2 down.
You know, Vin, looking at Ojeda, I tell you, I thought he handled himself so well because there were some vicious things said. I know one cartoon here had him, he's going to choke up, and that's a thing I always hate. And I tell you, he handled himself so well, and he said, I have no bittersweet. Hey, I'm with the Mets now. I enjoyed my time here. It's going to be quite a battle.
Here's Rich Gedman. Out in front. He was guessing fastball and got it, and he was still out in front of it. 0-1. Interestingly enough, Gooden went 4 innings plus and struck out 3. Fernandez has worked 2 1/3 and struck out 3. 0-2.
He got Gedman last time on 3 pitches.
And with runners at first and third. Chased a high one around the eyes, but give him 4 strikeouts. And so Fernandez has retired 8 in a row, but it's still 4-0 Boston. The Red Sox leading the Mets 4-0 in the 8th inning, and the hopes, if this one is gone, is Bob Ojeda's next start at Shea Stadium against Roger Clemens. Dykstra fouling it to the screen. Lenny had a big at-bat tonight, but no miracles. He struck out instead. That was in the 5th inning with runners at second and third. He had singled in the 3rd and grounded out in the 1st. 1 for 3. Then Tuffle, then Hernandez. Down in the Red Sox bullpen, we have now come to that time of the game. Calvin Schiraldi is loosening up just in case they need him. Pretty good spot. You're leading 4-0 with Hurst. You have arrested Schiraldi and looking forward to Clemens.
And that's what John said all along. It hasn't just happened. It's part of his master plan.
0-2 to Dykstra. And he uppercuts that high change. The wind is playing with it, but Owen stays with it. Good play. Tough play under the conditions.
And that's what the shortstop does in his ballpark. He goes out all the time. Even though Rice was playing shallow because of the wall, that wind, Rice lets up here because he sees Spike Owen taking charge, and Spike makes the play. A little tentative. I don't blame him with Rice coming from left field. Wanted to avoid the collision.
Tim Tuffle, a batter, double to right center, and the Mets had a chance to get something going, but they left him at 3rd. Then he flied to left and grounded to 3rd with runners at 2nd and 3rd and 2 out in the 5th after Dykstra had struck out. In there again. 0-2.
Tell you, I've heard scouts and I've heard general managers talk about, forget the statistics, innings pitched, consistency, and what do they do with men at 2nd and 3rd, and how deep do they take the hitters. He rarely goes to a 3-2 count.
And that's it down the right field line, slicing away from Evans. It's got a chance. It's gone. A home run into the right field seats by Tim Tuffle. And that makes it Red Sox 4, Mets 1.
And Hurst was really disgusted with himself as he came off the mound. That ball was well hit. Make no mistake about it. The wind may have drifted it over there, but that was well hit.
So Tuffle with a double to right center and a home run to right. He has 4 hits against Hurst in their meetings. Take another look.
That wind takes it, but it's in there pretty good. It just doesn't sneak in there.
So 4-1 in favor of Boston, and the batter is Hernandez. 0 for 3. Grounded to second, flied to left, grounded to short. Right. 7 and 8, 15 and a third scoreless innings, and the bubble bursts for Hurst. He gives up his first run to New York. The largest crowd of the 3 games here tonight, and that figures since this is the last game of the year at Fenway. 34,010.
Vin, we've talked about the radar gun almost all year and how effective it is and so forth and so on. If that ball doesn't move, you're in trouble. That ball Tuffle hit was the fastest pitch that Hurst made, 89 miles per hour, and ended up in the seats.
0-2. And that's going to be looped into right field for a base hit. So suddenly the Mets are trying to get their second look at the game. The first one was in the 5th inning, and now maybe here in the 8th as Gary Carter comes up. John McNamara, as we said, is in a good position. He has Schiraldi in the pen. And here is Carter. Grounded to second, struck out, grounded to third, 0 for 3.
As always, but especially in the World Series, 6 toughest outs.
1 out in the 8th. 4-1 Boston. They just keep pitching him away, and he keeps either taking for a strike or lunging.
Just keep that ball away from him. That's what they've been doing.
0-1. Evans gives him just about all of right field. Henderson shaded to left center. So they're playing him to pull and keeping the ball away at the same time. Now working the dirt. 1-1. On deck, and it is certainly a consideration with the wind blowing out to right field, Darryl Strawberry. And of course 4-1 in this situation. Strawberry represents the potential tying run. 1 ball, 1 strike. Frozen at the plate. Boy, you look at a rabbit looking in a car's headlights. He was absolutely frozen by it.
When he starts that big curveball, I mean, it is a big rainbow curveball. High. Look at the rotation on it. As a kid, you call that a drop.
Let's see if it's fastball away. Fastball inside in case he was looking away.
Here's his pitch of decision, 2-2. He used that to set it up because he's got it in Gary Carter's mind now. He can come back with that slow curveball or that fastball away.
2-2. 1 out. Fastball, and he just got a piece of it, and I think it was a split finger because that seemed to sink.
Well, he was looking for the ground ball, and that bottom kind of dropped out of there.
McNamara patiently watching. Schiraldi is ready if they need him now. Fastball away, hit off the end of the stick. Fielded by Barrett to get him. And down to second base goes Keith Hernandez. So the split-fingered fastball takes care of Gary Carter, and he kept it outside, and all Gary could do is hit it off the end of the stick. So 2 down, a big out. That takes a lot of heat off Hurst, and it brings up Darryl Strawberry.
And remember the last time up there, he was called out on strikes and had some words with Montague, and Hernandez had to move him away. And there's Hernandez trying to move him away.
And now Strawberry is trying to get Hernandez home. He is 1 for 3. Curveball.
He's just not sure of that pitch.
He grounded out in the second, singled in the 4th, and struck out, called out in the 6th inning. 0-1. Fastball.
Slow curveball and the fastball, boy. He really gives a catcher the luxury.
And now everybody up at Fenway, and I mean everybody. swing. Ball one. They check with Jim Evans at third. 1-2, and the crowd stays up and at him. Fastball fouled away, and the guessing game continues.
He bot-headed by him.
4-1 Red Sox. Top of the eighth, 2 out. Hernandez at second. 1-2 to Strawberry, and Ray Knight on deck. Just to keep him honest with that high inside fastball.
Remember, he did that to Carter. 2-2. That's his pitch of decision. He very rarely goes deep. 3-2.
Slow curve, popped up off third. Boggs coming over to get it. He's got it. One run, 2 hits, and Bruce Hurst is 3 outs away from giving the Red Sox a lead 3 games to 2. In right field, the crowd is tormenting Strawberries, singing "Darryl, Darryl." Strawberry has had a tough time. When he struck out in the 6th inning, incensed and argued with Ed Montague, and there was Hernandez. And when he fouled out to Boggs, there was Hernandez again, trying to console, trying to keep him in the game. It's a tough time for any kid, and especially now as he stands naked under the world out there in right field, and they taunt him and they chant his name.
He takes his cap off and reacts to it. It's just been a tough time.
I tell you, it's a tough business. Bruce Hurst, meanwhile, not only got the outs in the 8th inning, I believe he is finished for the night. He shook hands all around with all of his teammates, got a towel and a windbreaker, put it on, and left the dugout. I have a feeling he might have concluded his work in the 8th. It remains to be seen, but there he goes, perhaps annoyed that he's not allowed to go 9. Meanwhile, in the 8th, Dave Henderson, ball 1. And the chant continues, the taunt of Strawberry. Do you think maybe in Shea Stadium they'll start hollering Dwight?
Well, I just hope that I just hate to see that happen to a youngster with that kind of potential.
2-1. Of course, it's all part of the maturing process. Strawberry's only 24. Dave Henderson had a big night. A double and a triple. Struck out in the 4th inning. Sid Fernandez trying to get him. 2-2.
It won't do much to Dwight Evans. He's been around. It'll be like water off the duck's back.
They couldn't sing to Jim Evans. To Jim Rice or to Dave Henderson. Yeah, it's kind of lonely out there in right field. Hendu 2 for 3. 2-2 the count. High fly ball to Strawberry. Wind blowing it. 1 away. Boy, they're really on his case. Oh. Well, I tell you what, if you don't want to live in a goldfish bowl, you better not be a big league ball player.
No.
Here's Owen at a scoring fly ball, struck out and grounded out. 0 for 3.
somebody say, well, I don't pay much attention to that. Oh, yeah?
I never hear the crowd.
Oh, yeah?
One ball, no strikes. Pretty good fastball there. A lot of movement on it. 1 ball and 1 strike. Game 6 is just around the corner. Shea Stadium. Bobby Ojeda and Roger Clemens, who must loom like the Colossus of Rhodes right now in the minds of the Mets, and come to think of it, in the minds and hearts of the Red Sox. 1-1. Bunt foul. 1-2.
You think about that Clemens, he's just an ordinary pitcher with a 150-mile-an-hour fastball.
Long night for Davy Johnson. 4 runs, 10 hits for the Red Sox. 1 run, 8 hits. 1 error, and a big one caused a run for the Mets. There's Clemens waiting for his next shot. Game 6. 1-2. Slow curveball. So all of a sudden, Sid Fernandez, 5 strikeouts, and the batter will be Wade Boggs. But Fernandez has quieted the Red Sox, but he can't do anything about the scoreboard. Well, the folks at Shea never had a chance to make much noise. The folks at Fenway had their only real opportunity tonight, and they're making the most of it. The battle of the decibels will continue in Game 6. Wade Boggs 0 for 2, then single to center. Last time up, fly to left. Right. They're playing Boggs to go the other way. The infield is swung around. Hernandez is almost in the hole between first and second. He's so far away from the bag. Now back. Dykstra is over into left center. And Hernandez with the count 0-2.
The only pitch he'll be able to pull is something slow, breaking ball. If it's a fastball, he'll go the other way.
2 down in the 8th. 4-1 Red Sox. Foul back. Ray Knight, Kevin Mitchell, and Mookie Wilson are due up. Particularly Mitchell, because we're not sure whether Schiraldi will be pitching the 9th inning or Hurst. I have a feeling it'll be Schiraldi. Fastball fouled away again.
One time this summer, I forget who the umpire was, he said to Boggs when he walked up to hit, why don't we just make the count 2-2 and we'll save all those baseballs because you're going to foul off about 9 of them.
Well, it's 0-2 right now. High fly ball down the left field line. Mookie wedged in there, and the ball is back in the seats. Fernandez has retired the last 10 in a row. He came in and gave up a base hit to Henderson. He got Owen and Boggs, retired the side in the 6th, retired the side in the 7th, and he's gotten the first 2 in the 8th. There is Schiraldi, warm in the bullpen. You talk about a ball eating up a second baseman. That took a bite out of Tim Tuffle's left ankle. Oh, did that hurt.
That was a knuckleball. He hit, the pitch was a fastball, but it went out there like a knuckleball. He's got the glove down and hit him right on the ankle. And I mean, he's more embarrassed than hurt right now. But I tell you something, that thing really knuckled out there. And whew, that's all you can say. It ate him up. It got to be hurting him, but he is just embarrassed. And I tell you, that thing really knuckled out there.
Wade Boggs with top spin. The good hitters do that. They hit that sinking line drive. And 1 minute Tuffle thought he had a play, and the next thing it hit him on the ankle. It will go as a base hit.
It should go as a base hit. That was really a tough chance.
They talk about too hot and too hard to handle. That was a perfect example. And here is Marty Barrett. And he drives it to the wall. Back goes Mookie. It's going to be off the scoreboard. Boggs will stop at third on a double by Marty Barrett.
There he is again. He keeps it going. 2 outs, and the big guys are up there.
So the line drive that eats up Tim Tupple. Now Barrett doubles off the scoreboard.
And when it hits that scoreboard, it's liable to go anyway, but Mookie once again plays it well. Santana's out there. They don't use double cutoffs because it's so shallow. But once again, Barrett right in the middle of it.
Well, Bill Buckner comes up. He singled to center, was aboard on Santana's error and scored in the 3rd. Grounded out in the 4th. Flied to left in the 6th. Buckner again finding runners in scoring position. Almost every at-bat, it looks like he has somebody there. And he's only delivered twice in like 20 scoring position situations. Ball 1.